Put another stitch in this flag, thinking about that blasted tax on tea. It's robbery. Every cup costs more silver than the sugar that sweetens it.
You're not alone in that anger.
The whole of the colony is upset. Wake up, Patriots! Wake up, Patriots!
It was the full moon or what? But
well, we had full moon last night. Yeah.
Well, I saved $250.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because I get progressive lenses, you know. And
yeah,
you're not going to be a progressive now, are you?
No. Yeah.
El Giorgio, Jorge.
Wait a minute, the Halloween show isn't for another a few weeks yet.
No, this is my undercover outfit that Tom Holman sent me when I got the phone call yesterday.
Oh,
I'm working undercover. I'm working undercover.
So you're going undercover, George. You're a G-man now, are you?
Yeah, this is...
Pablo, wait, hang on. You should change that for in the riot bond to Pablo George or something.
So I never heard any of it. And so I went back, and then, what was it? Somebody wanted to see some of the show. I turned it on for them. I watched it on TV, and I hear these sound effects. And I'm thinking, now I get it, because a couple of times last week, I see Trixie like cracking up and smiling, and I'm thinking, nobody said anything funny. What's she doing that for? And then, so Trixie, I got a phone.
Hasn't done the insurrection act.
Right?
Oh, hey. Rico.
George, did you hear that? Oh, Rico, don't bring up your pool boy again.
We need the picture in there with George, the big-ass rum bucket.
No, it's hot.
But we got you with the picture of it, George. So technically, no one has to know it was Trixie's.
It's en route, but I will get on text. I can get on wireless on the airplane, and I'm allowed to text. I can't stream though.
You know, the weird thing is, you guys. What?
What? Shut up a minute.
Oh, what?
What? Shut up. You shut up.
Shut up 1 minute, woman.
You shut
Listen,
up.
Mark, I want to know how many people noticed that bomber on that desk.
The terrorist did.
I spotted that right off the bat.
I'm just saying, I want to know how people noticed that. You got to put that picture up again.
Yeah, can you put that picture up again?
What picture?
The one with Trump.
President Trump in the Oval Office when he's got the bomber pointed right.
No, I don't have. I took it out of my feed thing over video. Guys, shut up, Jesus! Everybody.
Okay, everybody's just got to go after.
Happy Thursday. Here we're gonna bring on George. Let me see. Is Sean here? No, Sean's not here. Yeah, Sean will be here sooner or later.
Makeup.
Yeah. Well, he won't be here tomorrow, but he'll be here today. So I'm gonna open up with a prayer, and we've got a really good guest today. We got Barry Ramey. He was January 6th, and he went to the memorial thing in DC, right, on Tuesday.
Yes,
yeah.
he did.
What are you calling it, though? A memorial remembrance, or what is it? What are you calling it? Because I don't want to offend anybody.
I think they called it a Remembrance Day. We'll ask Barry when it comes on. You know.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a memorial, really, for everybody.
Well, it's 5 years celebration, but
yeah,
because of Trump's in office now, so but they still broke their balls on there. We got videos about that. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to start out, and then we'll bring him on. So, God is faithful, and He will not let you be tested beyond your strength. But with the testing, He will also provide the way out, so that you may be able to endure it. And that's 1 Corinthians 10:12 through 14. And I thought that kind of fit for today.
That video.
Well, let me bring Sean on. He's here now. Morning, Sean.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
I thought maybe you thought it was Friday and you were like leaving already.
No, I got stuff for work going on and I just got tied up. Anyway, how's everybody doing?
Good. All right. So you want me to bring the one you got right down here, right, George?
Yeah, bring that up because that didn't will let you do it.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip.
Ooh, okie dokie.
What was that?
I asked about that too before it came up. I said, wonder what that is. Let's bring on Barry, and you can ask him yourself.
You know, out of all the videos you picked, I have no clue why you would pick that one.
Because I know the sense of humor you have. I have the same sense of humor, so. And we do have a sense of humor, show.
You know, George, I got to be honest, at a little embarrassing moment. I was watching your intro and I saw the disguise that Tom Holman sent you. I didn't know it was you. I immediately picked up my phone to call ICE to have your ass deported. And then you said it was this guy. I saw it was you. Almost got one.
Oh, that one cracked me up. I was laughing so hard that day. That was funny.
So what's going on, guys?
So the thing is, we got some photos here about and the video of the rally. Hold on. Well, you know, you could introduce yourself. Well, I'll sit that way.
Yeah, that's always a good way to start. Introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
Hey, how are you? My name is Barry Ramey. I was a January 6er. I was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. I served about 3 in custody before the pardons came through. And now I'm free, and they messed up and gave me access to the internet and a microphone. So all I do is crap on liberals all day.
Yeah, we do that in the morning.
Well, here's a rally they had.
That's how we start out.
With Ashley Babbitt. For Ashley Babbitt, that they put together.
Ashley and Charlie, please stop! Don't make me stop this shit! Ashley Babbitt was a traitor! You are all traitors to America! Fuck all of you!
American hero, patriot, and who laid down her life in full measure. Gave everything she had. Let's observe a moment of silence for Ashley Babbitt, please.
Fuck you!
Let it go, let it go. Let it go.
You can go right down the street. Marco Rubio would be way willing to take you there. And Michael Byrd, not only did he got promoted to be a sergeant, and he killed Ashley Babbitt. Michael Byrd is living his best life right now, and Ashley Babbitt is in hell.
You know what's funny about what that guy said, that he became, the fact they promoted him to captain, and now they found out he has a daycare center in Virginia that he's making $190 million on. Amazing. Amazing.
Well, I mean, it's just typical Democrat BS. I mean, let's face it, the entire party is corrupt, down from their constituents all the way up to the top of their elected officials. We don't have a politician problem in America. That's the big misconception. We have a people problem. We have a very core problem with our people that vote for people like Ilhan Omar and others, and that's the issue here.
Yep. And they just, they like I said,
could be a little bit of both.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, if you had good-hearted, concentrations of red-blooded Americans that love this country that all voted in Dearborn, Michigan, then you wouldn't have an Ilhan Omar. It just wouldn't exist.
It's Dearbornistan. It's Dearbornistan around here.
Yeah.
We put this other video up. That's good too. This is.
Yeah, but we're not. You lost.
Tell him, Barry.
Fully pardoned, baby. You belong in the gym. You fat bastard.
You tell him, Barry.
If I'm looking sideways, I'm not ignoring you. I'm interacting with the chat and reading that as we're going in case there's questions or something, just so you think I'm not rude.
Oh, no, not at all. If you see me looking down, I'm usually looking at myself because I'm insecure and want to know what I look like all the time. So that's no problem. But yeah, that video walking by that you just saw was there was an individual, and he was holding up a sign that says, all insurrections deserve to be in prison. And I just loudly reminded him that we're not in prison. We're fully pardoned, and we're walking down your street right now, because apparently he didn't get that memo.
I don't know how you contain yourself, really, because I would lose my temper with those people.
Yeah, well, I mean, being in DC helps a lot. It's pretty sobering, because if you being a Trump supporter even remotely fart and it sounds like the word Trump, you're going to jail. While they can beat you and throw rocks at you and spit at you, that's okay. But so that helps a lot keep the anger down. But you hear some of the things that they're saying. They're calling out Charlie Kirk's death. They're mocking the death of Ashley Babbitt. While a mother is praying for her lost daughter, you have that man talking about her murder, and bragging about it and saying he's happy for it. And then you look at him, you see, coincidentally, it's a black dude. And when you listen to the foul thing coming out of his mouth, it's almost like, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Because let's face it, that kind of evil and murder and that type of culture, it's predominantly it's black culture. They write songs about murder. They make albums about murder. So it's not very surprising to see this young man out there screaming at a mother who's just trying to memorialize her daughter that he's happy to see her daughter murdered. This is the culture, the hip hop culture.
Yeah,
sad. It's really sad.
Remember that time they put the flowers at the Capitol steps for Ashley Babbitt, and that crazy woman started kicking all the things out of the way and so forth?
Yeah, I believe that was Brianna, Anarchy Princess. She's a huge supporter of ours.
I'm going to bring up this one with the back of his jacket. I like that.
Yeah, I wanted to be a little ominous. I was hoping that the left, I'm not sure. I haven't really got to see the media outpour of it yet. I know that it's there, but I'm really hoping the left takes the bait and talks about the blood, the paint on my shirt, and that it was scary to them. I hope they do talk about that, because I want to be talking about that first and last name at the top of my jacket.
Yeah.
He's a guy who got away with a lot.
Yeah. And now, and then now he has a Somali daycare.
Yeah. I mean, not just the day with Ashley Babbitt, but even, earlier in his career, we talked about the other day with the, leaving the loaded gun out unattended. I mean, just, different things that he shouldn't even have had a badge.
Right. And, to your point, which is excellent, throughout my 20s, I did some, I would call it higher level security work. I worked with real executive bodyguards and stuff. That really wasn't my personal position, but I did go through a lot of training. And even with that, with the firm that I worked for, you sign a paper. If you leave your weapon in a bathroom, or you leave your weapon unattended, you are fired. You are not coming back to work. You are fired. So, and that was just security work. This guy was a Capitol Police officer, so I think that really says something.
You'd think he should be held to maybe a higher standard than a.
Yeah, well, what was amazing was
security company. You would think
he shot his gun, and then he said shots fired.
Yep.
He didn't do. So he was trying to cover his ass that somebody shot at him for him to.
Technically, he wasn't wrong. There was shots fired, but he should have said, "I was the dumbass that shot the."
That's what he did.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot of people still haven't, because the media, let's face it, did a very good job of creating the narrative that they wanted to sell the American public. Ashley Babbitt was trying to get through a broken window that an individual who I was in prison with, Zachary Alam, a now outed member of Antifa, you see him take his helmet and smash the window out. Ashley turns to him and punches him in the throat to get him to stop. And she goes through the window with her hands up saying, "I'm trying to get away from this lunatic. Please let me, I can't get, there's nowhere to go behind." She had her hands up, and Michael Byrd shot her at point blank range. Let's go back to the birth of Black Lives Matter. The whole hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. We know that Michael Brown did not have his hands up. That is not what happened. The entire foundation of Black Lives Matter is founded on a freaking lie. Yes. But let's assume for a second that the left had moral fabric for which they were woven from, that they live by. We know that's not the case. But why doesn't hands up, don't shoot apply to Ashley? Well, she's a white Trump supporter. That's why. Because the left doesn't stand for anything. That's why, other than hate. So if they can tie hate into it, they'll jump on it. But Ashley did have her hands up, and Michael Byrd did shoot her.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was sad. You know her mother, so do I, and stuff like that. It's unbelievable, and she was there at every court hearing and everything else. I mean, it's amazing. But
Mickey Ashley's mom stood outside in the rain, sleet, and snow every single day outside of the jail until we were released from prison. And I hope that nobody, especially my fellow J6ers, ever forget that.
That's right. Yep, 100%. She was there with the singing and everything else, and then with I told them about I told in fact we're gonna play it later. The new song you guys put out, which I think
it shot back up to number 7 yesterday.
We're pushing it.
Awesome. Yeah. And that I don't know if you have that video of the bullhorn that was finally ended on January 6th by the activist Patricia Eugenio, who was once an elected official of DC.
That's the one that got arrested by Secret Service.
I saw that video clip. Yeah, in the piece, you were talking before we came on about the pieces, but I saw the video where there were pieces on the ground of it too, where it had been smashed up. But I didn't. Yeah. I saw that she was arrested.
Now, I want to be very clear, and this is also on camera, so if anyone, wants to confirm what I'm about to say, please, I recommend that anyone does that. An altercation is sued between her and I'm assuming her age. She's an Asian, one of the Chinese MAGA people who have been like some of our biggest supporters. They're like a beautiful group of people, very anti-communist. And I'm assuming this woman was about 75 years old. You never know with the Asian women because they age like wine. She could be 300 years old, and it's just the ginseng that makes her look so great. I don't know. But this little Asian woman whooped Patricia's ass. I mean, it's on camera, and she got sick of it. Now, you got to understand that this bullhorn that Patricia Eugenio uses, she uses it to stop other people's freedom of speech continuously. That's what she wakes up every day. She's in Nick Shirley's videos. She harassed Mama Mickey, Ashley Babbitt's mother, for years with that bullhorn. She's broken Trump rallies with that bullhorn. Well, that bullhorn met its match that day when she tried to use it as a weapon against that Asian woman. I was able to stop that bullhorn from hurting her, and that bullhorn no longer exists.
Nice.
That's good. So you want to talk about a little bit about the prosecution you did with the in jail and stuff, how they treated you a little bit? So
sure. I mean, it's how the J6ers, what the J6ers went through is actually a microcosm of a much larger problem. And that problem that we have as American people is almost unbeknownst to us because it disguises itself as our friend. And that problem is the Patriot Act. And I'll get into that in a minute. But one thing a lot of people don't realize is, okay, when you go to prison, that's your sentence. Prison sucks, and it's supposed to. And I don't think any of the J6ers are collectively trying to argue that prison needs to be better for bad people. That's not the argument here. But what happened to the J6ers is something that should scare every rational thinking human being here in America and even abroad. With the flick of a switch, the Biden administration, through Merrick Garland's Department of Justice and the help of the counterterrorism unit in the BOP led by a man named Joshua Kloeb, they put a label on us that we were domestic terrorists. Now, what does that mean? When you go to prison, being away from your family, being locked down in a cell, being told when you can eat, being told when you can sleep, being told when you have to wake up, that's your sentence, the harsh environments of prison. But what the Department of Justice through Joshua Kloeb and Merrick Garland's office did was they put falsely the label of domestic terrorists. And when I say falsely is the Bureau of Prisons has something called the classification unit or process, and it's located in Grand Prairie, Texas. Every inmate that goes through the federal system goes through a calculated screening from their past to who they are, prior crimes committed or not committed. And then an analysis is done on you as individual, and you are classified within the federal prison system. And that depends on what kind of privileges you'll have, who you communicate with, and what prison you will actually go to. The J6ers were inappropriately, and this is to the BOP's own statement and admittance, were inappropriately labeled as domestic terrorists. So while we served our time, the counterterrorism unit of the Bureau of Prisons, which I believe is located in West Virginia, utilized language in the Patriot Act to treat us as terrorists. What that meant is all of our mail was censored, delayed, discarded. We were prevented from talking to the media. We were prevented from talking to certain people. We were thrown into the shoe, falsely accused of talking to the media by this Joshua Kloeb guy, myself, Robert Morris, John Strand, many others, and thrown into the shoe for months on end while we were under investigation just to make our lives harder. Joshua Kloeb from the BOP's counterterrorism unit was spying on my fiance's social media. And when I say spying, he admitted it. He had the SIS department of FCI Miami pull me into the office. They had a dossier almost about an inch thick of all of my fiance's social media, pictures, screenshots, posts, comments. And they forced me to call her and make her remove posts that were gaining traction, that were pro-Trump and anti-Biden. If I didn't comply or she didn't comply, they were going to send me to the communications monitoring unit, a maximum security prison in Terre Haute, Indiana. They were threatening me to do this. And this was, I want to give some context of this real quick. The counterterrorism unit of the BOP, Bureau of Prisons, their jurisdiction ends there. This is not the counterterrorism unit of the FBI or some other agency. This is the prison system's counterterrorism unit. So Joshua Kloeb was monitoring my family and our family members outside of his jurisdiction, outside of prison, and manipulating their social media feeds by threatening to have their loved ones thrown into a deep, dark hole. He was able to do this because he was able to use language in the Patriot Act against American citizens, because the Patriot Act, ladies and gentlemen, it is no more and no longer, or it almost never was, to some extent, utilized to combat Islamic extremists. It has now been weaponized against the American people. Why we saw Donald Trump go through what he did, the court cases, the sham trials, the witch hunts, the spying on his campaign, the fake dossiers from Clinton and Obama, that is all the Patriot Act. It allowed it to happen, and it will continue to happen unless we amend it.
Didn't Obama change that? Obama increased about the Patriot Act, didn't he?
He did. He actually increased it tenfold. They were going to, and I want to be very clear. This is not the Patriot Act. As we know, was created by George Bush and Dick Cheney's administration. It has been weaponized by Republicans and Democrats alike. And Republicans are the ones that keep running their mouth when they campaign about it, yet vote to extend it every time it comes up. So it is the Republicans' fault too.
But we were talking before the show, and we were talking about the Patriot Act, and that's one thing that we covered in here all the time when we talked about January 6th, is that that's the only reason that they could hold you for as long as they did, and what they did was because of the Patriot Act. And that was put in, for actually they scared the hell out of everybody after 9/11 in order to get that through. But I think the intent of that thing from the very beginning was to remove rights from American citizens and keep everybody tamped down, because what they were trying to do was to, what they're trying to do now with the color revolution and flip everything around. And that would give them a really good basis to detain people and everything if they didn't like anything you said or did, and you have no rights whatsoever.
Now, I know I'm preaching the choir, but I'm asking all three of you: was Bush and Cheney our friend?
No.
The American? No,
not at
all.
No.
And
Bush and Cheney brought us Obama.
Yeah,
just like Obama brought us Trump, though. So I always say, you can't be mad that we got Obama, because we would have never had President Trump without a President Obama.
Yeah, I almost feel comfortable saying, Obama, congratulations on being the first and last black president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw the photos, I was very happy to see the crowd of people coming out. We were going to go, but we were invited to that other thing with that dinner. So
yeah,
because
it was a lot of healing. And every time I get around a large group of J6ers, as much as we argued and fussed amongst each other sometimes while in jail, now that I'm free, whenever I get around a large group, it just feels good. It really does. I have a lot of respect for those men and women.
Yeah, Kenny came out with a good story about being in jail, that because they had the guy think, did you tell me he was a Delta Force guy or something like that? But
McCaleb, I think.
yeah, he turned around and said, "Well, we got to use reverse psychology." So what you guys did is banged on the bars, the noise all the time, so that you could aggravate the guards. The guards actually came over to you to tell you to stop because they couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, well, that is actually a very common thing that you learn very fast. You know, I try to, in society, I try to be a civil person. You know, I don't just disrespect people or I'm rude to people. You know, one of my biggest pet peeves is if I'm with somebody and they're just rude to the waitress or waiter for no reason. Oh, I can't stand it. But one thing you learn in prison is that there's a lot of times where you're not going to get what you need unless it's what's called crash out. And I mean this. I spent 2 weeks in transition in the solitary confinement in a medium security prison as I was getting to my prison in Miami. And they kept me in the SHU, it's called. And I was at 7 days where I could not use the bathroom. And I don't want to get too graphic for your audience, but it's at this point, this is dangerous. All right. I'm begging the nurse. There's people that are in there that are diabetic. So the nurse has to come by twice a day in that unit. And I'm asking her, please, I need laxatives. I need something. Something's wrong. 5 days went by. She would not do anything. Finally, I kicked the damn door so hard, cussed her ass out. And would you know it? The doctor came and brought me laxatives an hour later for the first time. And I wish I didn't have to behave that way. I wish I could say, hey, ma'am, I'm having a medical problem. Can I please receive some help? That would be my response as Barry Ramey. But that response won't get you what you need in prison.
No. We know how much, from what I heard, you know, the relationship I got with all you guys, how much they took rip the feelings away from you people. Like your feelings are very hard to recuperate of what you have lost in the prison at that time, which I think is very touching. People should understand and know of what they ripped away from you. You know, you don't have to, you know, you know, we hug each other every time we see each other and everything else like that. To me, it's important, and I feel it's important to you guys. But it's what they took away from you in those prisons and jails, it's people should hear the stories. I mean, they're oblivious. They think the pardon is done and that's it. It's over. It's not like that.
It's a lot of rebuilding. I mean, a lot of these guys and girls have had their entire lives destroyed, their houses, their homes, their families.
12 communities.
Right?
How does it affect like the majority of them, of the people that were in there with you and everything? Has there been a lot of like mental problems and psychiatric issues afterwards because of having to deal with all that?
Yeah, I mean, just as the same as all of us came from different walks of lives and different, different belief systems and even religions. I mean, the one thing we all have in common is we probably love Trump just a little bit too much, and that's all right with us. But the same thing goes for the healing process as far as getting out. Everybody's coping, differently. Some people are thriving and hitting the ground running. Some people are trying to do that and finding it's a little bit harder than they thought. And I mean, let's face it, everything between suicide and other things, these are all real realities for some of these men and women.
Yeah, well, people don't know exactly. Even that kid that committed suicide before he went to jail.
Yeah.
He was 37 years old.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're watching online and they're seeing what's happening to us. Again, we were not subjected to just your average, okay, you go to jail and prison. That's what a lot of people don't understand. There was so many extra steps added to us because of who we voted for that made it even harder than prison already is.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know about that guy you told me, but I thought it was the woman that was in charge of the gulag because she was known as a big Trump hater.
Well, that is true, but the gulag is its own jurisdiction. The Bureau of Prisons, they have some influence because of the federalization of the District of DC, but their jail is technically Congress is the sheriff of DC jail. That is an actual factual statement. They are the acting sheriff. There is no sheriff of the DC Police Department. It is Congress. So Congress can go in that jail anytime they want. They can open up any door they want. And so DC was really bad for those guys. And that woman that you're referring to, she was responsible. Once you left DC and you were in any of the federal prisons anywhere in the country, you were now under the watch of Joshua Kloeb and his counterterrorism unit. And that was pretty much calling all these prisons, finding one of the SIS officers that he was able to kind of get in there with and make these officers do things to us, like wrap us up in cases, accuse us of talking to the media when we're not, throwing us in solitary confinement, and literally purposely trying to get us our privileges such as visitations, phone calls, and emails taken away during the holiday season specifically. This was his goal. And when and I'm sure if there's people from the BOP that are watching this, their jaws dropped to hear me say Joshua Kloeb, because they're going to want to know, how in the hell does Barry Ramey know this man's name? And I would never throw any of my sources under the bus, but there's a multitude of them. And the BOP's Joshua Kloeb created them because they got sick. Some of these guys were special forces and Marines and Army, and they know what terrorism are. They know what terrorists are. And now you're telling them that these guys and girls that voted for Trump that may have done something wrong. Most of them didn't do anything at all. You're trying to tell these real people that fought terrorism their whole career that were terrorists. They're the ones that snitched you out, Joshua Kloeb. And it was multitude of them. And now we have ones that are going to come speak to our lawyers directly about what Joshua Kloeb did to us, because they broke a lot of constitutional law to do so.
Oh, good. Are you guys going after him legally?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Joshua
fantastic.
Kloeb is going to be in some big trouble, because I could have looked past what he did to me. But once he started messing with my fiance and her well-being and her emotions, homie, the gloves are off now. Yeah. So everything's on the table except for criminality. I don't wish any ill will towards Joshua Kloeb. But I'm hoping by the time the legal system does, he would have much rather me put a golf club up his ass sideways.
Yeah. I wish accountability. I wish accountability on Joshua Kloeb. How about that?
Yeah. Right? What he did to Robert Lego Man Morris is terrible. I mean, had this man thrown in the shoe for no reason, had his privileges taken away just because he didn't like who he voted for. I'll never forget you, Joshua Kloeb.
Yeah, the Lego guy was. He came to one of our the rally, the fundraiser we had for them.
Yeah,
and he was amazing. But
he's a really good. Most people don't understand that is Rob Morris, that amazing, outgoing, adventurous dude. That's him. That's really him.
Yeah, he was really great and funny, and he served in the military, and and how he got the name of the Lego Man was I laughed so fucking hard when
you would think the prosecutors trying to sell this BS narrative that you refer to would be laughing while they're doing it, but no.
What they did is they found the Capitol building that he had in a box, all with Legos,
brand new, not opened.
Oh, not open, but the Lego, they knew it was in there. And what happened was they brought it in, and they figured he was the planner and organizer about attacking in Capitol, right? It was just amazing.
Yeah, he was going to reconstruct the Lego set and go back to the Capitol and try to overthrow the government again with the Lego set, was what they argued at his bail hearing.
Because of the courts were all, the old liberal tots, the judge was a liberal, they wouldn't make you bring, they wouldn't make you bring back the Capitol Police that were on your side, that they would make them bring them back in, and the Secret Service either, right? The Secret Service.
Yeah, there was a lot of shady tactics that were done by the prosecution, because they weren't just trying to prosecute us. They had a very tough job. They had to prosecute us and sell to the American public that an insurrection against the U.S. government could occur. So they had to prosecute a bunch of innocent people and then, continue this false prosecution under the narrative that it was an insurrection. So they had to juggle a lot there. So they, the reason they did things and wouldn't allow certain evidence. And, let's be honest, man, I'm not a conspiracy theory. I don't have any solidified proof, but it's just very funny that two officers that were willing to testify on behalf against the Capitol Police, that they all of a sudden committed suicide a couple days before their testimony was going to be heard. So I'd like to hear more about that, more outrage about that.
Wow. So wait, let's go back to that. That was two two people were going to testify against.
Yeah, I one of them committed suicide, and I think the other one was just shot randomly in a drive-by. If I'm not mistaken, please look into that. But 2 officers mysteriously died. One for sure by suicide.
Yes,
and their plan was to come to Capitol and say, no, this wasn't an insurrection. Sure, some dumb shit happened and a riot broke out, but this is not. That was basically the crux of what they were going to say. And one just decided to commit suicide, and I believe the other one, I think he was shot in a random drive-by.
And these are Capitol police officers? Wow.
Yeah.
That's probably part of the narrative when they push about, Capitol police officers died.
Right.
That's probably part of the narrative. They're probably using that for it as that
They're even blaming the 2 cops that were at the gate that was run by an Islamic terrorist to raid them and killed 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That they put them all together with the J6 murders.
Yeah.
Wow. And they put what's his name in the dome there to say that he was killed and he had a heart attack at home. He had a stroke at home and a heart attack.
Yeah. And his mother even came out and said
the narrative, because of the fake news media that they had, the narratives said that he was killed by the J6s and everything else. And they have videos of him walking around in the Capitol inside. And that was all brought up.
He had a pre-existing heart condition. It was really bad, actually. And
he was a Trump supporter too.
Yeah. No. And there was a lot of bad actors in the Capitol Police that day, but they were not all bad. All right. So I'm not. There was a lot of good ones that got put in a really messed up situation. And I don't think these men and women are stupid. They know what happened. They know it's not the protesters' fault. They know an insurrection didn't occur. So now do you go straight up Kyle Seraphin and blow the whistle and take all the crap that he did, or you just try to get that pension and go home? I know what I would do. I'd be as Kyle Seraphin. But some of these men and women, they're trying to retire. They got families. They don't want to suicide themselves, so they just keep going along with this BS narrative.
Yeah,
I think that the guy that committed suicide had a lot of information. That's why he disappeared. And the other guy that drive-by shooting too.
I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, if you're an Obama chef and you see something you don't like, you might disappear too.
So Mike,
sounds like he saw some. It sounds like maybe he saw some bad meat, George. What do you think?
Right? Yep.
Mike's meat.
Yeah.
He should have real Michelle.
He saw some bad meat, right? Get it? That was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
He was actually swimming too.
You think about what they did to Trump, right? And all his, his notoriety, his money, his fortune, his fame, his power to fight. And what they did to people like yourself that didn't have that power and everything else is just it's pathetic. It just shows why we need accountability to this whole process.
Yeah,
absolutely. I keep on saying there's so much accountability needed out there. It's overwhelming.
What about the video? I'm sorry, go back.
Going back to the Patriot Act for a second, and I say how I feel. One thing I kind of hate and love at the same time about us conservatives is that we're very judgmental on one another, and we kind of have to be. We're not an echo chamber. We don't see things all the same, and that's one thing I love about us. I love what Tulsi Gabbard is doing. I think she's become an amazing patriot. I think she always was. And then, she, whatever. I'm going to talk about now. And Tulsi Gabbard is actually our only hope at ending the Patriot Act. And here's why. Well, she's in an obvious, clear position to do so. And her husband were a victim of it. With the flick of a switch, because the Patriot Act, they put the domestic terrorist shadow cloak on her and her husband and put them on the no-fly list, the Quiet Skies list, which she did end that program, by the way, immediately. She ended it. She took it off. Her and Kristi Noem. Thank you. Tulsi was a victim of this. Her husband, who is of course, he's very, he's got his political views, but he's not involved in politics. And they put him on the no-fly list. She should, and I'm sure she is, be effing outraged at that. And if Tulsi is in there in the position to do it, she knows the dangers of it being weaponized against the people. She has to do something about this. And she's our only hope, guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something here really quick, then you can go, George. But how bad the Patriot Act was, and how dirty Congress was, because Benny Benny Johnson or Benny Thompson, and that whole crew destroyed all the evidence they had on all the hearings and everything. And if they had any credibility whatsoever, none of that stuff would have disappeared.
Well,
I'm pretty sure somebody broke into the facility and stole all the paperwork like they did at the Community Learning Center.
Like the Somalian daycare. When I was bringing up about the documentary that Pelosi's daughter was doing, right? She was in the car and she admitted it about the National Guard, and that thing disappeared. They don't see that no more.
Yeah.
I think the daughter disappeared too.
Yeah, that's a weird situation. I don't know if you've seen the documentary where she was talking with somebody, a Gabriel Captain. He was with his lawyer, and she was speaking with him, and he was a Proud Boy at the time, and he said, made a comment about how the left calls this white supremacy when it doesn't mean that. And she said, "Oh, we know it doesn't mean that. It's a Reddit thing. Like, we know it doesn't mean that." But yet she goes right on and says, "Oh, they're throwing up white supremacy signs." It's just, it's ridiculous.
A-okay. It's just unbelievable. It doesn't ever stop. I mean, I don't think one of the Democrats came out and said that, the pardons that they got, we're going to re-prosecute them.
Yeah.
This is and that's why I tell everybody how important about the midterms are going to be. Even if they're rhinos, we still got to keep that control of that House and the Senate. I mean, this builds on Toon's desk. There's 12 of them. Even the SAFE Act, which about the voting, but you have to prove that you're a citizen to vote, is still on Toon's desk since April 12th.
Thune is not another one is not our friend. James Langford out of Oklahoma is not our friend. And when I say our friend, I don't mean MAGA. I mean the American people. Okay. I can have friends that aren't MAGA. Okay. Then I still care about your well-being and your constitutional rights. So when I say people like James Langford and John Thune are not our friend, I mean we the people, all of us.
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
And George, real quick, it is so we hear this all the time, and I think for the last 10 years it's been true every fucking time. But if we do not win these midterms, if we do not keep the House and the Senate, then the chance that God gave us on November 5th and back in June or July when he spared the life of Donald Trump, it will all be for nothing. God would have once again said, "Here, people, I am opening a door for you. And you have once again failed to walk through it." And let's face it, the Democrats will wake up at 3 a.m, walk through shards of glass and lakes of fire, ice, sleet, and rain to vote for whatever blue-haired, multicolored lip ring, non-binary teacher that identifies as a giraffe on the weekend that wants to teach kindergartens about queer sex. They will get up and vote for those people while conservatives sit home and do absolutely nothing but complain for the next 4 years that they don't like their representatives. And if we don't break that cycle, if we don't win these and smash these midterms like we did in November, God is going to close that door on us for good, and he should.
Yeah, well, General Flynn said only 67% of people went out to vote, of the Republicans that went out to vote. Evangelistics was a couple of million, they didn't vote, and you got a lot of gun owners that didn't go out and vote, which is very important.
Yeah, and let's look at Pennsylvania. You're absolutely right, George. Look at Pennsylvania. I mean, let's face it. That was probably one of the most important battleground states this election, and it was won by a gay activist, Scott Pressler, and the fucking Amish. Yeah, they saved our asses. They saved our asses. Let's face it. And Charlie Kirk obviously had a massive amount of influence and sway with the younger vote, and Barron Trump's genius move to do podcasts and say you mainstream media. But other than that, this election was won by a gay conservative activist and the Amish community. That was it. This big. What's going to be November 5th? It better be us or it's done.
And if you don't go out and vote, you shouldn't be able to bitch about it either. And that's the one that gets me, is all these people that don't go vote and they sit there. Keyboard warriors put all their crap online and everything, and then you ask them if they voted and they say no. And it's like, what's the point then? The
Democrats win, they're going to change the Supreme Court, Ed Moore. They're going to wind up going after all of us. Anybody that like the same thing they're doing in England, that for what you say, they're going to arrest you.
Yeah.
So we got to and then we're getting attacked by the Islamics too on the other side. I mean, we're getting if we don't stand up, I mean, it's just, and I know congressmen went to the jail to go in, and they refused to let him in. And I brought that up. I brought that up to Byron. Can't they hold back the money?
Yes.
No, because it's all put in a pool of all the jails and stuff like that. So they can't hold money from this one. They can't hold money from that one because everything's all agreed upon about the budget. So they get their money anyway.
Well, they wouldn't even have to hold it. All they should do is an in-depth audit to see where that money has gone for the last 20 years, and you'll solve the problem right there.
That's why I think that's what everything's coming to a head now with all the stuff that's happening.
Oh yeah.
So let's hope it just continues and the accountability finally does come out because of all the stuff that's happening.
Now, to those people that you so correctly pointed out that complain about the representatives but don't get up and vote, I have sympathy for the feeling that people say, oh, my vote doesn't count. My vote doesn't count. None of it matters. I get where you're coming from. But if you really think that after November 5th, that Donald Trump won the popular vote, Donald Trump swept the battleground states, Donald Trump closed the gap in every single blue district across the nation that he had previously lost, okay? He did that with all of the media just trashing this guy for 10 years, with all the sham trials, with all the things they said about him, all the censorship, all the crap they did, he still won.
Right.
If that doesn't tell you that your vote can count, that we can beat the cheating, we can show up and be too big to rig. If that doesn't show you that we still have control, I don't know what will. But we did it November 5th. That was not supposed to happen.
78 million people.
Yeah, ask Hillary.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like your YouTube views. If you're a conservative and you have anything on YouTube, if they say you have 10,000 views, you guarantee that means you should have 100,000. And there's no difference with the way Republican votes are being processed through that system. All right. We need to come up with 3 to their 1 almost. But we can do it because it's not Republican values people are voting for anymore. It's just American values. And the Democrats are so far from that it makes voting for anybody else pretty easy. We just got to show up and do it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, they didn't. I mean, we're doing the fundraisers and stuff for you guys, but there's nothing out there like with any. I know we can't do the GoFundMe pages because they're anti-fucking everything. So even the Go Send, what is that? Go Send, Give,
Send, Go.
Yeah. They don't have anything. I know a lot of the guys, you guys' monies got ripped off by the lawyers and people that put these sites up to collect money for you guys, but you guys didn't get the money.
Well, I mean, I know that there's some stories out there like that. I mean, for me personally, I did get a lot of help from the outside community. I know a lot of other people did too. But yeah, there was a lot of others that used our situation to benefit. But I've also seen some people get accused of doing that, and I know firsthand that they didn't do that. There's a lot of stuff out there like that.
Yep. You want to put that photo up in the crowd, Trick?
Yeah.
A couple of photos. Put them all up. Put them up. Say, give them on a couple.
Sean, you're muted.
Oh, that's why you didn't hear me. I was saying,
Yeah.
I just want to say something real quick. Going back to you talk about the midterms, right? Obviously, history will show you that the administration always loses seats, right?
Yeah,
and we're on a razor thin margin. We can't afford to lose anything. But with Trump talking about all this stop mail-in voting, right? Like you could do an executive order to stop it. Now, obviously, states run their own elections, except this is a federal election because it's a midterm.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that if we stop that, stop the mail-in ballots, right? If he could stop that, that may turn the tide of the cheating. And if our people get off their ass a little bit and have a little bit of fire in their ass to get out and vote, maybe we turn history with losing the midterms.
Yeah. I mean, it's we accomplished so much on November 5th. We weren't supposed to win, guys. They even tried to take his life twice.
Yeah.
So
that we know of.
Yeah.
That we know of.
where I find us as conservatives, especially, America First people like us, we're not used to winning like this. And so it feels really good. And I just don't want us to get complacent, and forget that we have to keep winning. It's going to take 3 decades minimum to reverse the damage the Democrats have done for the last 100 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to rewind a little bit, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, and it's like you bring up the point about MAGA and everything, but I think like even MAGA, we're to the point where it's America first.
Yeah. Well, I'm at the point where I'm America only.
Yep. Well, that's a good point.
That's what I tell everybody. Yep.
Yeah, and what did we talk about before, George? Don't give money to the GOP anymore because it doesn't go where it's supposed to go. So you give directly to the candidate, that is aligning with your values, America first, America only, however you want to go on it.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think the GOP, with what is it of Trump and Eric's wife and Watley, they did a pretty good job this last election.
Well, they did. Yeah, they did. Laura's not there no more, right? Watley's still there, but Laura's not there.
Yeah, the RNC and Win Red. I would never give money to Win Red anymore, ever, not one penny. And the RNC, look what they did when Ronald McDonald was there. They just squandered everything.
I get an average of probably 10 texts a day from Win Red. My poor mother, who's in her 80s, keeps on getting texts, and she's like, I'm getting texts from Donald Trump Jr. Like, Mom, they're not. But you can't turn them off. You can't get rid of the texts. It's crazy.
The only thing you could notice is about the best ones are when you notice about the texts. They do have, if you look at the whole text, it always has the number 45 on it. It's not 47, no other number. It's just number 45. And he said, when we wanted to, about the number that we got on our vest, which, Barry, we told he doesn't want us to change the number because that's who he was. He was 45. And if he won 2020, he would have been still 45.
Well, I think that people need to realize his numbers are 45-47.
That's right.
I wouldn't underestimate this guy anymore. If I were you, I wouldn't underestimate this guy anymore.
Yeah, he told us, he says, leave it 45. Do not change it.
Yeah, he's the greatest president. I don't care what anyone says.
That's a happy picture.
Yeah.
I like the guy jumping here.
The things that we were being called, the names that they were saying. I mean, it was constant mockery of Charlie Kirk's death from, these evil demons. I understand they don't agree with us politically, but as far as I'm concerned, they're subhuman. This is a woman mourning her daughter, and they're comparing her to Charlie Kirk and laughing. So that just shows you who these people actually are. You know
what I call them? Demons in soulless skin suits.
Yeah. Yep.
I've said that for years.
That's an insult to demons.
Yeah, maybe.
There's some vulgar language in it, but that Patricia Eugenio, the free speech stomper, I think we performed an exorcism that day. So we did rebuke the demon inside of her.
That was good. But it's just unbelievable that more people have to understand the stories that are coming out from the J6s because they can't. You couldn't believe that you were treated that way, number one. And we should understand how you've been treated because a lot of people don't know. They think you were in jail and you got your meals. They didn't know about your food being tainted, your water being tainted. Sometimes you didn't get the mails. You were put in a hole for 23 hours a day. And people didn't know how the clock worked with 23. Once you came out, then you came in for the other 23 hours right away. So really it was like 36 hours in the hole. I mean, people do not realize, I was very lucky. I mean, I was there. The FBI came to my house twice, but I asked them what'll happen after this. They said, well, we got to bring it to somebody. So I was very lucky.
Yeah.
I was,
yeah, and like we just had Nick Shirley, a 23-year-old kid with YouTube, just exposed this massive thing of fraud going on, and there's something else that I really hope that somebody will reach out to the J6ers, in particularly me and John Strand, because we were both in FCI Miami. And one thing that happened towards the end is I got a physical. 88 other inmates from the compound were called to medical that morning to go get a physical from the doctor. What happened when you went inside the room is the doctor asked you to weigh yourself, asked you if you had any pain going on. That was it. The whole thing took about 2.5 minutes. When I got my medical records back, because I kept every record I could get my hands on, the doctor claimed he did a spinal test, a cervical spine test, an abdomen test, a blood work. My temperature was 98.3 degrees, never took my temperature. He did some kind of heart pressure check, some blood pressure check, not just blood pressure. He did this analysis with the machine, he said. None of this was done. I was asked to weigh myself, and he asked me if I was in pain. The guy could barely speak English. His name was Dr. Alacron from FCI Miami. Each one of those tests are being billed to the American taxpayer, and they're getting money from the government saying that they're doing. Now, remember, I told you 88 inmates went to this physical. Wow. All 88 of them were said that they had this elaborate test performed by these doctors, each one being charged to the taxpayer. This is going on throughout every single federal prison. It is a 4-year waiting list to get your teeth cleaned by the dentist in the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons. 4-year wait. Yet every single facility, for the most part, has a very elaborate dental office. I mean, x-ray machines and chairs and staff, yet no one ever goes in there. Where's this money coming from? Where's it going? So if they did half the work that they did in Somali daycares in Minnesota, they're going to see the BOP is robbing the American people. Oh, big time.
I know they didn't test your testosterone.
No, well, that's funny.
Was
that
it a
you
little
say,
low or no?
It's so funny that you say that, George. Man, so I have a deteriorating L4 vertebrae. I have some very bad back problems. I need surgery, and I was having 10 out of 10 back pain. I couldn't get out of bed, and I'm sending medical requests to the doctor for 2 months. 2 months. Every day I need to see a doctor because you can't just go there. You have to be put on a list. No response. Not one. I said I had 10 out of 10 heart pain, a chest pain. All right. I had a small chest pain, but it wasn't 10 out of 10. No response. So then I got clever, George. I wrote him a medical request. I want to change my gender. I want hormone therapy. I saw the nurse 2 days later. After trying to get in front of them for just Advil, I couldn't do it. But if I wanted to change my gender, next day, saw the doctor.
Yeah. Well, you heard about the study about the testosterone that the Republicans were tested and the liberals were tested, that the liberals had lower testosterone than the MAGA, the right, and all the
that's clearly just obvious. I mean, when you eat soy macchiatos for breakfast and you dye your hair blue and you identify as non-binary, there's no way you could be producing testosterone to make those decisions.
Quick question from Red Ginger in the chat. She asked about because Peter Navarro was in that prison apparently too. Did you ever see Peter, or did you?
So funny story about that. Short answer is no. He was in the camp and I was in the more secure side of it. And here's a funny story about Peter Navarro, though, and this is just recent. I don't know if anyone knows this, but as you know, prison politics are concerned. It's not very. FCI Miami doesn't have much prison politics, and Hispanics are like 88% of the prison. They're the dominant race there. So they have their little gangs and they'll fight. But other races, blacks and whites, they don't really click up in Miami because it's just so Hispanic. But the white car, as it's called, was ran by a member of the Outlaw Motorcycle Club. He went by the name of Seven. He's one of the very few inmates that I met through my process that I genuinely cared about. The guy was, he was a good friend to me. He never asked me for shit, always looked out for me, knew I was a political prisoner. And he called me the other day. And Seven told me that Peter Navarro was with the director of the BOP walking around FCI Miami taking notes.
Oh,
so there is some things going on. I can tell you this: FCI Miami and the Bureau of Prisons pissed off Peter Navarro. And when Peter Navarro is pissed off, I hope you got some Vaseline or at least like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It's good.
Barry, we're going to play your song.
All right.
We'll do trivia tomorrow. because we're running out of time. So we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, do that song. It's very important. We got to get them up on that chart, and the money's going to them directly. It's very important. Please tell all your friends and neighbors to purchase that song. It's $1, whatever, $1.29, I think it is.
Yep.
And it's
Where can you get the song at?
You can iTunes, Spotify. I don't know what these kids are doing these days, but I think iTunes is where we try to focus it on, because we've been on the top of the #1 list. What was special about that when we went to #1, George, that was during Christmas time, and I think we all know what song wins #1 during Christmas time.
Yeah.
It is that ratchet "See You Next Tuesday" Mariah Carey.
Yep.
What I Want for Christmas. It's always at #1, but for 2 days, we beat that out. We beat that annoying trash basket out of the #1 spot. So,
well, Barry, we appreciate you being on there. We'll make it come again. And what's your website? It says We the J6ers.
WeTheJ6ers.com, like we the people, J6ERS. Check us out. I'm doing a lot of booking arrangements and speaking engagements. So WeTheJ6ers.com.
Yeah. All right, brother. Thank you very much. I play the song there. Keep Barry on.
Yeah, it's in the prelude right now. It should pop up here in a second.
Yeah. You're falling down on the job.
My name is Shane Jenkins, Enrique Tario, Robert Morse, Daniel Caldwell.
My name's Mickey.
My name's Pete Schwartz, Barry Ramey, Ryan Nichols,
Deborah Mamone, Olivia Pollock,
John Nassif, Jordan Mick, George White Wolf Riley, Robert Gieswein, Kyle Fitzsimons,
Adrienne Southern,
Andrew Tuckey,
Jessica Watkins,
Timothy Hale, John McHugh, Billy Cressman.
This anthem means a lot to me because it's what held us together.
Against the odds, our faith that our days of this nation will be renewed is still there.
We've formed bonds that can never be broken.
I, along with my brothers and sisters, weather the storm.
We will never stop fighting for this country.
And my friends and my brothers that also helped me through this tough time.
Because we are what makes this country the greatest country on this planet.
In this moment, in this anthem, is living proof.
We sing for all the people who never made it home. Through us their stories will be told. We stand as one, united in this fight for liberty. Justice for all, our voices ring, the anthem of the free.
Hey, freedom ain't free, no, it comes with a price. Rest in peace, Charlie, can't believe they took your life. Didn't make it back home to your children and wife. By any means, we have to keep freedom of speech alive. Hey, rest in peace, Corey, all the fires that you fight. To the cops and military that been fighting day and night, so we could have liberty and our God-given rights. To all the mothers and fathers that's just trying to protect their child. Hey, freedom worth dying for, dreams worth fighting for. God got us, I promise that's the reason I smile. Protesting with our voice and our presence and our words. We ain't killing people for disagreeing, man, that's absurd. We ain't burning down cities cause we pray to the Lord.
We sing for all the people who never made it home. Through us their stories will be told. We stand as one, united in this fight for liberty. Justice for all, our voices ring, the anthem of the free.
Hey, stop killing people that just want to debate. When we protesting, you ain't see no guns and no flames. We don't have to agree, we ain't gotta think the same. Country built on conservative values, let's reclaim it. It's not about hate, we just wanna feel heard. We standing for the truth, not just following the herd. You can love your country and still call out its flaws. You can back the Constitution and still question the laws. We don't wanna be killed just for speaking our voice. God coming soon, man, so it's time to rejoice. Let the ballots be counted, let the questions be asked. Let the people decide, don't just bury the past. And don't let evil get you down, cause God
we
wins at
sing
last.
for all the people who never made it home. Through us their stories will be told. We stand as one, united in this fight for liberty. Justice for all,
brotherhood that we built and the country we believed in, and especially our president, we never would have made it out.
Blessed by God, pardoned by Trump.
Thank you, Donald Trump, for pardoning us and giving us a second chance on life.
President Trump for pardoning me.
For saving my soul, and Donald Trump for giving me the pardon.
I want to thank Donald Trump for pardoning us, and is the only reason that we're here today, all together, free, with smiles on our faces.
Our voices ring, the anthem of the free.
Good stuff.
Right. Yeah, I definitely didn't think that I would ever have prison tattoos or a #1 hip hop song. So, hi, Mom.
No, you checked off a bunch of boxes, didn't you?
My name is Shane Jenkins, Enrique Tario,
Robert Morris.
Okay, I gotta stop that. Otherwise, we can't hear. Thanks for coming on, Barry.
Well, thanks
Definitely
for
come
having
back for us. Everybody loved you in the chat. They were going nuts today. It was very engaging.
Oh, well, wait till they meet me in person. They might change their opinion.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys all tomorrow for Frisky Friday, except for Sean. Sean won't be here tomorrow.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Godfather. I appreciate it.
Okay. See you guys all tomorrow. Bye.
Right.